Good, the recording is started. Internet seems to be working very fast today. Good, so here we are there on the screen. Let me begin with the very basics of the entire syllabus. As you people are aware about the fact that it's the subject called financial management. Now, when it comes to the financial management, before I go to the concepts of each and every module which are going to be covered in this syllabus, I want to know the expectations of yours in this subject. I have seen that the people have a varied degree of expectations when it comes to the financial management. Some people wants to become the investment experts, some people wants to do the stock trading, some people wants to become the financial advisor. Now I just want to know your expectation. What do you expect that after end of this course in the financial management, where you people would be able to reach? What kind of a things you want to get covered in that? May I have the interaction from the students, please? Anyone? Any of the ways. You may type your message there. You may just let me know by unmuting yourself, whatever the way you are comfortable with. No one. Okay. More of practicality of the subject. Okay. So I need to define that word practicality first of all. At least all the basics and important knowledge about managing the finance. Good. Mr. Dhawal is saying that sir, personal finance is something we want to learn. Ms. Dolly want to learn the share market and investment. Okay. Mr. Rishiraj is saying that sir, it's a very new subject for me. Okay, so might be having the science or engineering background. Good. So I have got few questions from this interaction only. Be able to know the basics of financial analysis. That's been said by Ms. Priska. Good. Let's move ahead. Let me just tell you that what are the things which will be there in the financial management, what are the things which won't be there. First of all, there are two perspectives to look at the financial management. One is the perspective of the personal finance, another one is the perspective of the corporate finance. One is personal finance, another one is corporate finance. I'm specifically use the word corporate because other forms of business organization are not seen much nowadays. All the startups which are being formed up are taking place in the company organization. That's why I'm using the word corporate purposefully. And another perspective is the personal financial management, which is about each and every decision of the finance at the individual level. You take the auto rickshaw or you take the bus from Marwad University to reach out to your home. It's a financial decision. What kind of a food you will be getting at what kind of a hotel or restaurant? Financial decision, I tell you, specifically to all the Indians. Whenever it comes to deciding the luxuries and necessities at which you want to buy your money, you want to spend your money, the financial things comes in your mind first. Everywhere, anywhere where the money is involved, whether I should spend this money or not, whether the decision is right or wrong, whether the benefits I am going to get from this decision will be more than the expense I am going to incur or not. This everything is a financial decision. That is a personal financial management perspective. Now, it has been often misinformed and miscommunicated that these two are same. No, these two are not same. When it comes to the personal financial management, the more focus is always on the spending of money. You try to see that, sir, whatever the money I have right now, whatever the decision I'm going to take to utilize this money, are those decisions appropriate? Is this the best decision to be taken? So it's more about getting the return, managing your money. While it comes to the corporate financing, there are so many other things as well to be involved. So let me first clarify this, that our focus as per the syllabus is more on the corporate finance, financial management. Yes, that does not mean that I'll not satisfy your requirements to know about the investment avenues, to know about the things as far as the personal financial management is concerned. No, I will come to the practical points. I'll keep giving you the advices. I'll keep giving you the recommendations for the investment decisions. I'll keep giving you the pros and cons, the advantages, disadvantages of the various investment avenues. I'll keep giving you the advice related to various alternatives you have for the investments. We are going to cover that. But our major focus will be on the corporate financial management. I hope that's pretty much clear to everyone. So this is how the entire syllabus looks like, which is a very logical flow itself. I'll explain you why it is a very logical flow. Let's do not go to this syllabus. Let's discuss what shall be there in the financial management. See, whenever you start your company, okay, I have received one more comment to know about investing in stock, personal financial management, and increase our overall financial knowledge. Yes, Mr. Mohit, that is again something which is related to the financial management at the individual level. We will cover the bit portion of it, but our major focus is on the corporate financial management. Okay, let's go and understand it very logically. So you are doing any startup, you are starting up your business, or you are there in a company which is just formed up and it is going to begin its business operations. The first thing you require before any idea is how you will finance that idea, right? That is a dilemma. How do you finance this idea? Whether you should issue the equity share, that means you should give the ownership to the people who wants to invest in this idea, or you should take the loans and borrowings from the financial institutions, from the banks, or you should go with some of the other advanced level corporate finance techniques, the seed finance, crowdfunding, digital marketing funding, social media funding. What sort of a funding will be the best and appropriate one to start your business? Now that depends on your requirement as well. Some of you might be like, sir, we do not want to share the ownership with the people. It's okay, we take the loans and borrowings. That's fine. But they shouldn't get the ownership in our business. So you would go with the loans and borrowings rather than equity shares. Some of you might be like, sir, if we give the ownership to the people who are seeking the finance, they would be indulging more into the business and we want their technical expertise to run our business or startup idea. That's fine, you can go with the equity shares. What combination of equity share and loans and borrowings will be the most appropriate combination? That every questions will be the financing questions. So that is called as the financing decision. You want to know that what are your sources of finance? Which one is the most appropriate one? What is the cost of each and every source of finance? What is the appropriate mix of every sources of finance putting together? That is called as the capital structure. Sir, in the capital structure, what should be the portion of equity? What should be the portion of debt or borrowings? So this is the financing decision. Now you have started up your business. I mean, you have gathered the money. Whatever the sources which were available to you, you have gathered the money. The capital structure is being formed. Now, obviously, the next thing comes in the picture is the investment, right? Investment into the capital investment avenues, fixed assets. All those major long-term irreversible decisions which you take, which are applicable for a very long period of time, are the capital budgeting decisions. Whether to buy this machinery or that machinery, whether to invest in a building at the Kalavar Road or at the Morbi Circle. All the decisions related to plants, machineries, buildings, all such sort of capital assets, patents, trademarks, copyrights, intellectual property rights, which are the fixed assets, and those assets gives you the economic benefits in terms of money for a very long period of time. They are not just for 1 or 2 years. You buy the machinery, that machinery is going to be there for many number of years. You buy the fixed asset called furniture, that furniture will be obsolete after some number of years. The economic benefit is not limited just to a year, otherwise you can expense it out. Some people say me that, sir, how do we expense out any, any spending? Very simple definition. If the economic benefits of any expense is limited only to a year, you expense it out just in a year, because accounting follows the terminology of accrual. But sir, the economic benefits from any investment or asset will be more than 1 year, then you cannot expense it out in the entire year. You will have to put it as an asset. Slowly and gradually, steadily, you will be taking the expense out of it, and that expense is called as the depreciation. You cannot recognize the entire expenditure just in a year if it is the capital investment in nature, the big investment. So that's all about the capital budgeting decision. Capital budgeting. First, you have gathered the money, you have formed your capital structure. Once you gather the money, now you are utilizing that money. Utilization of this money is in the various alternatives you have got. You decide between the two mutually exclusive projects, that which project is the most beneficial one for you. And my dear friends, these decisions are not made intuitively. There has to be some proper financial analysis before taking this decision. You would always have the various alternatives whenever you will be making any kind of investment decision in your company. You have 4 different types of machineries that must be, first of all, suiting to your business requirement. That is number 1 point. Number 2 point, that must be fitting to your bottlenecks, constraints, limitations faced by your company in terms of finance. Number 3, you should be selecting that alternative which is the most financially viable alternative, which is the best in terms of returns. How do you evaluate that? How do you come to know that this machinery is the best in terms of finance? There are various techniques. Those techniques will be seen in the capital budgeting. So you have gathered the money, capital structure. You are spending the money in the long-term investment decisions, capital budgeting. Now there is a logical flow. Your business is started. You have started running your day-to-day operations. You have started doing the purchase and selling. You have started manufacturing your goods if you are involved in the goods industry, manufacturing of it. Now comes the major problem, because now comes the problems which will be faced on daily basis. Capital structure and capital budgeting decisions were not a very frequent decision. सुबह उठ के आप तुरंत डिसाइड नहीं करते कि सर ये मशीनरी में इन्वेस्ट करना कि वो मशीनरी में इन्वेस्ट करना. Those are the decisions which are taken at a very long period of time. But sir, working capital management is something is to be done on very daily basis. Frequently you will have to do this. So that is the third stage of financial management, which is working capital management. Working capital basically means the total of current assets. This is called as the gross working capital. All the assets which are expected to be realized just in a year are called as the current assets. Debtors from whom you are supposed to take your money because you have sold the goods and services to them is your current asset. Bills receivable, current assets. Your stock, your inventory, which is there in a godown, which is expected to be sold within a normal operating cycle, it's your current assets. So all such sort of the things will form a part of your current assets. And there is also another terminology which is quite famous among the people is the net working capital, which is current assets minus current liabilities. Assets are those people from whom you are supposed to take the money or which is going to be converted into a money like stock or inventory. But liabilities are those people to whom you are supposed to pay the money in a year. And that is been observed. The majority of the startups which are being closed, the majority of the business which are being shut down, it's been observed that the primary reason behind that is the lack of effective working capital management system. Because my dear friends, this is something which is a very daily kind of exercise. You can take the help of experts if that decision is to be taken only once in a year, like capital structure or the capital budgeting. These are not very frequent decisions. You do not buy the machineries or you do not buy the fixed assets on a daily basis. You may take the help of the financial expert. You can go to the chartered accountants, company secretaries, chartered financial analysts to frame your capital structure, to make the capital budgeting decision. But working capital management is something which is to be done only by you. Because how do you manage current assets and current liabilities? It's obviously rotating the entire cycle of the cash. Those people who are there into the business right now, you people are aware that how difficult it is to do the rolling settlements of the cash. How difficult it is to match all your liabilities with the period in which you are receiving the cash. Say if you are supposed to pay the amount to someone in a 10 days to come, then how you will be realizing the cash in 10 days to come from your debtors so that you will be able to make the payments to others. This rolling settlement of the cash is something where majority of the business are getting stuck, and that's where they are being closed. This is something which has to be done only by the organization. No one can rescue you over there. No one can help you. Only you will have to do that. These three areas are the core of financial management when it comes to the perspective of the corporate. I am right now talking from the point of view of the business organization, which is also a corporate we have taken. There could be various other forms of the business organization. It can be partnership firm, Hindu undivided family. It can be limited liability partnership. It can be association of person, various. In that too, we will try to focus more on the company and corporate finance perspective. because that is what the demand of syllabus is. That is how the syllabus is entirely framed. So I hope the basic structure of the syllabus is pretty much understood now. It's not over yet. Hamari adhuri kahani. Once you keep on doing your business, you keep on managing your current assets and current liabilities, you are managing your day-to-day business daily transactions, you are rotating your cash effectively, understood. Now, all those people who had contributed the finance in your company in terms of capital structure, my dear friends, they didn't do it for voluntary service, right? They had some clear-cut expectations in terms of returns. If they were the equity shareholders from whom you had taken the money, then my dear friends, you will have to pay them the dividend. You will have to pay some money to them, right? If they were the people who had given you the loans and borrowings, you are supposed to make the payment of interest. But when it is loans and borrowings or such other sort of a finance, at that time you do not have the luxury to decide that whether to pay or not. Loans and borrowings is something on which you are supposed to pay the interest at any cost. It is the fixed obligation you have taken on you, whether or not your business will work, whether or not there would be a corona or no corona, you are supposed to take that interest anyhow. You are supposed to keep that interest aside anyhow because that is to be paid by you at any cost. So over there, you do not have much decision making to be done because it's already been pretty much decided that you are supposed to pay the money. While you take the loans and borrowings, it has been pre-decided right at the agreement stage that what will be the rate of interest on that loans and borrowings, what you are supposed to pay, at what time you are supposed to pay. That is also been pre-decided. Over there is no decision making involved. But sir, when it comes to the equity shares, there is again a decision making to be done. First decision can be equity shares might have the different set of expectations from you. There are basically two types of returns any equity shareholders would get. The first type of return is the dividend, which is the normal regular flow of income on a yearly basis. Another type of income is the increase in market price. My dear friends, all the investors who invest in the shares of any company, we are right now thinking from the perspective of that company. They are expecting two types of return, as I've already stated. But majority of the investors are focusing more on the increase in market price. That is something where you make the money. That is something which gives you the money in a long period of time. Because dividend is something which is a regular flow of income you get at the year end, at whatever the time company decides. But that is something which is, a less in amount. Now, these two decisions are inversely proportionate. I'm using the words very carefully. Some people would be like, sir, what is this inversely proportionate? I'm going to explain this to you. Say company has two options. When company earns the profits, whether to pay the dividend or not to pay the dividend. Now, dividend is something which is not a fixed obligation on the company to pay. Company may pay it, company may not pay it. Now, if company decides to pay the dividend, my dear friends, then what happens? Then company will be left with less amount of reserves, less amount of money. The direct opportunity cost. The opportunity cost means the opportunity that you are foregoing, sorry. The opportunity which you are losing. The direct opportunity cost of making the dividend payment is that that company could have utilized that money in the business efficiently, effectively, for running the business, for maintaining the business, to earn the more amount of from it by investing that money. That is the direct opportunity cost involved. सर दो ऑप्शंस है कंपनी के पास. अगर कंपनी डिविडेंड पे करेगी तो वो पैसा कंपनी के पास नहीं रहेगा. एज सिंपल एज दैट. And if company will not have that money, my dear friends, company will not be able to utilize this money. Company will not be able to earn the more money out of it. That is the direct opportunity cost of making the dividend payment. Company's reserves and surpluses would be going down. Company's financial position would be going down. Their ratios will be looking little weaker because they do not have the much money now. They have paid that money in terms of dividend. My dear friends, if company decides not to make the dividend payment, then that money will be there with the company, and that company is not mad. There are financial experts in that company. They are more technically sound as compared to the layman people like us. They have the right knowledge of where to invest, how to invest, what avenue to select. If they would have that money, they would obviously first of all try to utilize this in the business. And if there will not be requirement in the business, they would try to invest it somewhere in some other investment avenues. They would earn some income out of it. लेकिन सर मुझे वो डिविडेंड का पैसा मिल जाता तो मैं तो जाके सीसीडी में कॉफी पी लेता. मैं तो जाके वड़ा पाव खा लेता. ओ माय गॉड, मेरे पास तो पैसा आ गया, चलो वड़ा पाव खा लेते हैं. फिर से बन गए ठन ठन गोपाल. So it's sometimes good if your money is not received by you in terms of dividend, if that is been kept at company will utilize it further. Company will make the more money out of it, and ultimately who will get the benefit of it? If company earns more, if company's profits are increased, if company's reserves and surpluses are increased, if company's funds are increased, my dear friends, company's financial position becomes stronger, and there is a direct impact on the market price of the share. If company becomes financially more stable, financially more healthy, obviously the market price of the share gets increased in the market. So you do not take the dividend, you are bound to get the increase in market price. You take the dividend, company will be left with the less amount of money, then your market price will not increase, or it may decrease as well. It is also been found that after making the payment of dividend, the market price of the share are going little down. Because company's financial position is not so good now, because the dividend is distributed. The amount of cash which they had is been distributed. You take the cream out of your milk. Obviously, you people are aware that what will be the amount of milk now. The nutritional value of that milk is been taken away. Similarly, if you take the dividend out of your share, the nutritional value of that share is taken away by you. Obviously, that is a share of less quality now. That share will be fetching the less amount of market price in the market because investors are smart and rational. So that is again a decision whether to pay the dividend or not, up to what extent to pay the dividend or not, whether to pay the 5 rupees, 10 rupees, 15 rupees, or what amount should be the most appropriate one per share. Now there are financial models to decide that what amount is the best and appropriate amount. So this is how the entire financial management syllabus looks like. I have given you the brief idea about the entire financial management just by going through this exercise. First of all, sir, we are gathering the money, financing decision. Whether to get the money from debt, equity, or other sources of finance. What will be the best appropriate mix of every source of finance? What will be the overall cost of yours when you take the money from the sources? This everything will be covered in the second module, which is called as the financing decision. Then you invest this money into your capital investment decisions, like whether to buy this building or that building, whether to construct a building or to buy a building. These are the two alternatives you have. Which one is the most suitable and appropriate one financially? कौन से प्रोजेक्ट्स के अंदर इन्वेस्ट करना? These are the investing decisions. Once the investing decisions are over, you start running your business on a day-to-day basis. You will have to do the working capital management of your current assets and current liabilities, the rolling settlement of the cash. That is to be done very efficiently and effectively, because that is something which is to be done only by you. That is too on a very daily basis. And sir, once we earn the profit from that business, now the next thing is whether to pay the dividend or not. Because when it comes to other source of finance, my dear friends, you take the fixed obligation in loans and borrowings. Over there, you do not have the much decision making to be done now, because you have already decided. Loans and borrowings is something on which you have the pre-decided rate of interest. You are supposed to pay it. That is the fixed obligation incurred by you. There is no decision making involved now. But there is a decision making when it comes to the equity, whether to pay the dividend or not, up to what extent pay the dividend, what will be the effect of making the payment of dividend on the market price, what are the various financial models of it. That will be covered in the dividend decisions. And this everything can be understood pretty well only if you know the soul of financial management. Soul. I'm using this word intentionally. The soul of financial management is the time value of money. Those who have understood the time value of money, they are the ones who have understood that how the money works. Now, time value of money shall be covered in the first module itself. There is a bit of a logical flow here, where the time value of money is included here in the third module, but we will be taking it over here right in the first module itself, in the basics and introduction of financial management. Because that is something which is to be understood first. You take every calculations in the financial management, every advanced level calculations are dependent on the time value of money. You want to know that whether to invest in this share or that share, it can be decided by the time value of money. Whether the equity share is overvalued or undervalued, whether that equity share is worth to buy at that particular money at which it is trading. There is a time value of money. How to value the business, time value of money. How to do the investment, how to evaluate the investing decision, there is a time value of money. Time value of money is going to be the base of the financial management, the fundamental of the financial management. And once you have understood that, you will excel in your personal financial management as well. Majority of the people you must have observed in your family members that in 1990s and 1980s they had certain opportunities. They didn't utilize those opportunities. And you people are aware that what is the value of that money right now. Do you know that if you would have just invested 1 lakh of rupees in 1990, if you had 1 lakh of rupees, then what would have been the value of that 1 lakh rupees right now? In terms of denomination, that would be there somewhere in crores. Yes, there is something called compounding. One should not keep the money idle. Why? Because there is a time value of money. You keep your money idle, you are losing the opportunity to invest it somewhere. You are losing the opportunity cost. Not just that, your money loses its spine over a period of time. The 100 rupees which you were having in 1990 is not equal to the 100 rupees you have right now in 2020. 100 rupees were the salaries of people at that time, and that too a very good amount of salary. If you were earning 2 to 3 rupees on a daily basis, you were there in the above average family. You could have earned so many number of things. You could have earned so much of commodities and goods in 1990 with this 100 rupees, but you cannot buy it right now in that 100 rupees. Hardly a CCD cup coffee, and that too one by two you will be able to offer. Keeping the money idle is the worst financing decision you can take. That's what happened when the government of India announced the demonetization suddenly just before the few years, where the currency notes of 500 and 1000 were taken away. Then there was an article printed on the Times of India that some of the farmers at the nearby locality of Morbi, which is just, somewhere around 100 kilometers away from Rajkot, those farmers were practicing, they were storing their money on an annual basis. So whatever the money they received from the crops which they have produced, they were storing that money somewhere in a ghada, and they were putting that right beneath the land, by digging the land out, they were putting there, they were storing it over there. Now, can you imagine the money that you would have received in 1980 for the crops? That would be somewhere around 50 rupees, 100 rupees. What's the value of that 50 rupees, 100 rupees right now? The entire year's crops, which you had sold in 1980 at that time at 50 rupees, 100 rupees, will not be able to even buy you a vada pav right now. That is the time value of money. And if you know the difference of compounding and the simple interest, you will excel in your life. Compounding is something which is to be understood by every person. What is the power of compounding? Will be a part of the time value of money, which will be covered right in the first module itself. So first module is about introduction and the time value of money. So I hope you people are absolutely crystal clear about the overview of this entire subject. May I have the confirmation from the students, please? Oh my God, I have received various doubts over here. Let me just answer one by one. Mr. Kushal is saying that people do buy shares for dividend only before few days and then sell after receiving the dividend. That would be one of the reasons for falling of price after dividend being paid out. Yes, Mr. Kushal, there could be a one reason behind it. I tell you, the dividend is something which is a cream in. There is one of the stocks like you can search about the Majesco. The price of that Majesco was somewhere around 1,000 of rupees, but that company paid the dividend just before the few months. The insane amount of dividend, they were supposed to pay it actually. The dividend per share was somewhere around 934. The price of that share fell from 1,000 rupees to 10 rupees just in a day. Because you have taken the cream out of the milk. What is the nutritional value of that milk now? The dividend has been taken away. The fundamentals of the companies are weak now. The funds are being taken away. The reserves and surpluses of the company are being taken away. We will go to that valuation models and we will try to establish that what is the exact amount which can be by which the shares can be affected if you pay the dividend. There are financial models. We'll go to that. Right. I like you raised your point. Ms. Priska, sir, isn't the role of the managers to maintain a proper financial management in a way that income obtained will be enough for both dividend to shareholders as well as remain with the finance to run the business? Yes, Ms. Priska, that is the role of financial manager to decide the appropriate amount of dividend. Whether to pay the dividend or not, that is also a decision. If you pay the dividend, then you will be left with a less amount of money, right? And what should be the appropriate amount of dividend that so that you will be able to survive the business as well, and you will be able to satisfy the expectations of the equity shareholders if they have the dividend expectations. That is the dividend decision making. We have the financial models. We'll explore that. Now, it's been again stated by Sethi that if we work in any company under finance department as junior employee, what actually will be our work? We can't involve in decision making work at first stage, right? Absolutely. Absolutely. I do not disagree with this. But my dear friends, you would have the personal financial management perspective too, right? Once you understand the time value of money, you will come to know that how the money actually works, how the inflation reduces the value of your money. That has been covered over here. Number two, you may establish your business or profession after some time to come, or you may go to some of the corporates. Here, I cannot assume that you will not be reaching to the top because that is something which is the pessimism. The syllabus assumes that my students are going to reach at the top, and accordingly, the advanced level financial knowledge has been given to you. Definitely, you will not be reaching to the decision level making right at the first moment. Understood. But this knowledge you will take will be applicable in each and every decision you will be making in each and every stage of your life. Whether to purchase the property or not, a financial decision. Whether to take the property on rent or you should purchase that property if that property is cheaply available and you take the EMIs, equated monthly installments paid on the loan. That's a financial decision. Whether this business will give you the good amount of money or that business, you evaluate the cash inflows attached therewith. Financial management. Each and every stage of your life, whether you are engineer or the science student, or you are a person belonging to any other fraternity, finance is something which is applicable to each and every one of us. And that's why we people are striving and thriving hard. We people are working day and out to earn the money. You people are taking the educational qualification. You'll be working somewhere to earn the money. What if you do not know how to manage your personal finances? Obviously, the corporate perspective is taken. That will be focused more because that is the requirement of the syllabus. But I am not going to deny or I am not going to keep this personal financial management aside. No, because the thought process remains same in majority of the occasions. Whether you take the decision for the company or you take it for your individual management, the thought process remains same. The fundamentals that how the money works remains same. Every one of us, even if you are the engineering student, you are doing this to know how to manage that money, then what's the sense of it? So that's going to be applicable to each and every one of us. Mr. Kushal, that company was not, it cannot be said that the company was not doing well. That Majesco had one business unit in the United States of America. That business unit was actually sold. So there was nothing left in that company. And they decided to make the payment of that business unit to the equity shareholders in terms of the dividend. They had two ways, either to liquidate the company and then making the payment of dividend, making the payment of amount to the shareholders, or to distribute it right now to the shareholders in terms of dividend. They went with the second way. They distributed the amount of dividend. I'm just giving you that example to tell you that how the dividend can affect the market price of the share. Anyway, we'll cover that in a very great detail. Do not worry. the financial models we are going to explore. We are going to see that in a very great detail. Right now, we cannot comment much about it because we haven't explored it technically well right now. But we'll see that. Do not worry. We have the valuation models of the shares as well. You can come to know that which one is overvalued, which one is undervalued. Okay. So that's it from my side. Please put your enrollment number as a mark of your attendance. I have clarified the entire syllabus of the financial management in the great detail to all of you. From the next lecture onwards, we'll move to the concepts one by one, slowly and steadily. That's it from my side. Please put your enrollment number. Bye-bye. Take care. Sayonara. Enjoy the rest of the day and see you all right in the next session.